canonically in Greece. In Greece. Hello and welcome back to my floor. So, first, I have redecorated, if you couldn't see the back. I redid my wall. Anyway, moving right along from that. Today, I want to talk to you about something that I hate, but also that I love dearly if it were to be done right. And I think this is the perfect environment post-Barbie movie to talk about it. And that is the musical Xanadu. I wouldn't be surprised if you've never heard of it. You might have heard of the movie it's based off of, because it was an Olivia Newton-John movie. Yeah, it is. It's a movie. It's a musical. So, a little history of my background with it. I performed in a version of it at a theater summer camp when I was in high school. Yeah. It was just like ensemble, but it's a wild musical. So today I would like to recap the musical for you and then tell you why I think it's good and we should still do it. Because although I hate it, I think if done right, it would be so good. Because it is just like peak 80s mess. It's Xanadu, man. I don't know. So getting into the musical itself. Xanadu is set in 1980, on Venice Beach area in California. They kind of go to multiple locations, but like you're in the Venice Beach section. And this musical involves Greek gods, roller disco, drag in the original production, just insane subplots. That is Xanadu. To go into more detail, it follows Sunny, who is a sidewalk mural artist. And it opens with him basically saying he's gonna, himself, after he's drawn a mural of the six muses, who are also main characters in this. Six muses are headed by the youngest, Cleo, which we'll get to my favorite thing later. And she basically, through this mural, is like, I want to go to Venice Beach. I want to help this man live his dream so he doesn't, and Zeus is like, yeah, whatever, go do that. Cool, whatever. And so they come out through the mural in the opening song. That is what happens. The song is called I'm Alive, and Cleo's like, okay, I need to disguise myself so he doesn't know I'm a muse. Like anyone in the 1980s realistically knows all the Greek muses by sight, right? So she calls herself Kira. She's dressed in roller skates and like a highly 80s outfit. Like roller skates and leg warmers are like imperative, and then it's just highly 80s. And to top it all off, and because this is based on the Olivia Newton-John movie, she's like, what's the perfect thing to add to this disguise? An Australian accent. But in every production you see, the gag is that the accent like just shouldn't be like great. So like she also changes her name to Kira. But they do still say her original name throughout the show in the Australian accent. So they're like, Cleo! And you're just like, okay, great. But it's Kira. She's Kira. She always says it like every production I've ever seen, the actress always says it like that. It's Kira. But she basically is like, to Sunny. She's like, ooh, like, what do you want to do? What's your dream? And basically her just asking him what his dream is enough for him to be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay alive. Okay. But it turns out his dream is to own a roller disco. And he knows the exact perfect spot for that. And it is this old abandoned theater. So while they're doing travel time, we meet our villains, two of the other muses. It's Calliope and Mephomene. Mephomene. I'll call her Mel. It is Calliope and Mel. Mel is like the leader and Calliope's the follower. And in the original version and most other versions, this is done by two men in drag. And in the videos from 2012, I don't know what version it is on YouTube, you can find a whole version of this show. And it's not recorded horribly either. It's like a pretty good recording. They're so good. They're so good at this. They're very entertaining actors. They're mad because they're two of the older muses and they're like, why is Cleo, our youngest sister, in charge? So they sing the song Evil Woman by Electric Light Orchestra. Not the only song they have in there. They have Electric Light Orchestra did a lot of the music. So the music's actually like pretty good, except you can tell when songs weren't done by Electric Light Orchestra. Anyway, they're like, we would actually like to curse her because she has also been promised Xanadu, which no one knows what Xanadu is, but Zeus has promised Cleo Xanadu should she be successful in her mission. Currently, they basically go, okay, how do we get her out of the way? We curse her to do something that like we like technically like legally can't do, which is fall in love with a human. So they curse Kira to fall in love with Sunny. Cut back to the Kira Sunny main plot. So they go visit Danny. The man's name is just Danny, who owns this decrepit theater, to like give it to them. They're not even gonna pay it. They ask for him to donate it. Okay, that's how insane the plot is in this musical. And he's basically like, absolutely no. I originally planned to open a theater, but only Sunny's there originally, and then in comes Kira, and this jogs Danny's memory of an old partner, like love interest he had, named Kitty. Boy, oh boy, I wonder who Kitty was. It was Cleo. He has like a whole flashback song about like how much he loved her and like how inspiring she was to him, and then Kira, who is also Kitty, goes, hey, even though you couldn't do it 35 years ago, like, what's to stop you from, like, helping now? Sunny isn't there at this point, right? Sunny has left this office. But Danny goes and finds Sunny, somehow, makes a deal with him that if Sunny can get the roller disco up and ready in one day, he will let him have it, and he will take like he'll give him 20% stake in the roller disco. That's right. Danny's gonna own 75% because it's his building, and Sunny gets 25% if he gets it up and running in one day. And Sunny just agrees to this. He's like, yeah, I can take an old broken down theater and make it a roller disco in one day. So after this deal is struck, Sunny goes and finds Kira. He tells him the great news, but this is also when Mel and Calliope get Eros and Mama Cupid to shoot Kira with an arrow, causing her to like have very overwhelming feelings for Sunny, and she breaks not only the rule of being in love with him, but also the rule of like muses can't create their own art. She draws a picture, whatever. There's that. And then, in arguably one of my favorite songs, All Over the World. Pretty good. that in that entire song, you know, movie montage, magic of the 80s, they fix up the entire theater, and it's like him, Kira, and a bunch of other muses. I say a bunch. There's only 6 of them. It's like the other 3 that aren't evil. They all fix it up. Danny agrees to go along with the opening, but at this point, Kira is like, hey, I'm falling in love with him. I gotta cut it. I gotta go. So she like tells him, and so Kira's like being like, I love you, but like I gotta go. I gotta go my own way. Not the song, but you get what I mean. The evil sisters are over with Danny, and they're like, hey, we'll offer you like a boatload of money if you just tear down the theater. So Danny's like, you know what? I like money more than I like this theater. I'm gonna take the money. And I believe, I don't know when the act break is actually. Not important to this. So after Danny's like, Sunny, no deal. Kira comes back and like basically has to reveal to Sunny that she's a muse, and like even though she loves him, she like cannot stay. Insane behavior. But she reveals the truth, including that her name is Cleo, and he just basically goes, you're a crackpot. And then he just starts to doubt if she ever loved him. You know, classic romantic plotline deals. The evil sisters, feeling great. They're off to go see Zeus because he has to deliver his punishment. And while they're off to do that, Sunny and Danny discuss Kira, and Danny, they basically realize that like Kira was Kitty and they're both Cleo, and Danny's like, hey, don't make the same mistake I did, like go get her, and he's like, I will, even if that means I have to climb Mount Olympus. Reminder, they're in Venice Beach. Mount Olympus, canonically in Greece. But they go by Percy Jackson rules, and Mount Olympus just kind of shifts around, I guess. So up on Mount Olympus, well, Sunny is supposedly climbing it. Everybody is like, Zeus, calm down. They sing a song, Have You Never Been Mellow? I know I haven't been mentioning all of the songs. A lot of them aren't super relevant. Decent soundtrack, though. Should go listen to it. But they are like, have you never been mellow? Like, calm down, take pity on her. She just fell in love. Like, is that really the worst thing they could have done? And then they start telling the story of Achilles, and you're just like, okay, like, I get that. And then they're trying to make the point that, like, Cleo is also only vulnerable in her heels, right? So when they shot the arrow at her, they had to shoot her in the ankle. But Cleo was wearing leg warmers. This is why the leg warmers are so important. It's insane. So she didn't actually get shot. Which means she really did just fall in love with Sunny on her own. Which canonically is still a crime, technically. But, like, whatever. So she, like, declares her love and rips off her leg warmers. And at this point, Sunny is there, I guess. And they, like, get on a Pegasus. And I want you to know, in the Broadway musical, they do have, like, an actual Pegasus they get on and off. It's pretty funny. But, like, Zeus, like, basically pulls them back. He's like, no. And Sunny's like, that's okay. Like, I'll fight for you. And Zeus is so impressed by this, by a man saying he'd fight Zeus, that is what pardons them. Cool, great. And at the very end, Zeus reveals what Xanadu is. You want to know what Xanadu is? Xanadu is true love and the ability to create and share art. So Cleo and Sunny go back to Xanadu, and I guess there's just only 5 muses for the rest of it. I don't know. Does she Does she stay with him till the end of his life and then just continues going to be an immortal being? Does she age during their relation? I'm confused by it. Wildest plot points. The Australian accent for no reason. Really, that is the wildest plot point. And then just Zeus being like, you know what, I'm not going to kill you because this one man said he would fight me, and I really respect that. Okay. Also, no confirmation on where Mount Olympus may or may not be. So, I've discussed that there is a film version of this on YouTube. I honestly would suggest watching it, and if I can find it, I will link it. My biggest gripe with this is that it is done in the round. And while this show is fun and stupid, I think it's very hard to do successful theater in the round. I have a theater degree. I am able to speak on this. It's just, there's always someone you're not facing. So I never prefer a round performance. When I did it myself, we were on a typical theater stage. So, yeah. Now, here's why I hate it because the plot is so dumb. It's so dumb, right? But if you look at it and you go, okay, it's supposed to be stupid and fun, it's a good show. It's not supposed to be like a Les Mis. It's not supposed to be a Hamilton. It's supposed to be stupid and fun. It is like the equivalent of Avenue Q beating Wicked for Best New Musical. A fact I like to bring up all the time. So funny to me. But it's just like, it's supposed to be the silly one. It's not supposed to be taken seriously, and I do like that. Now, here's what I would like to talk about. I think we're in the perfect climate for silly, fun, goofy stuff that we could stage this, and if we did it right, it'd be really fun. Personally, I'm for doing a really fun casting of this. I think the camp you get out of two of the muses, at least being drag queens, is a lot more fun, because I know in the original Broadway production there's one very small moment where one of the actor who plays Calliope also has to play then a male character, and then they're talking to Mel, and Mel's just like, is that Calliope? Like, there's this fun bit where she's just like, is that Calliope, basically? And I think that's really fun. Now, I think it'd be really funny if you got like very notable drag queens to play this. Sorry, there's something in my eye. I guess my first thought would be to cast Trixie and Katya in it, because they're already like buddies and friends, and I think their energy would work very well in this. But it could be anyone. I think if you lean into like the campiness of what this show is and just kind of go over the top in that regards and don't try to take it seriously, it could be a really fun show. But I think we needed to discuss it as a society, because like nobody really knows about it. It's not like the craziest show ever, but like it is such a weird little show. To take a movie that was so critically panned and then be like, and I'm gonna put it on Broadway. And I'm going to put it on Broadway. Why? For what? For what? But I personally really enjoy it. Yeah, the first plot line is also kind of out of pocket. Where Sunny's just like, he's just like, I'm just gonna, bye. For what? We have met him for about 30 seconds at that point. Sir, for what? We did not need to come in with this. It could have just been, I'm gonna quit art and be an investment banker. We did not need to make it so life or death. Literally. But yeah, I think if someone did a really fun, campy version of this, I would be so down to go see it. Look, I have a design degree. I'll design part of it. I do have to do costumes. I know how to do the other things. I focused in one of those things. It was costume design. I think it would be so fun. Yeah. But that is my entire thoughts on Xanadu. This was kind of a brainless video week. I needed a brainless topic, because I've been doing things for my dissertation so heavily that I need to be brainless for about 5 more minutes. But yeah, I'm gonna leave here. I'm gonna go sun myself in the park like a little lizard while I read my books for my dissertation and try not to fall asleep. I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you next time for whatever I decide to talk about. Okay, bye. I should clarify, I did have like a named role. There's in the song Dancing where Sunny and like Danny are trying to convince each other to go into this partnership. And they basically are like, we'll do it. Danny is backed by like an old-timey trio of sisters, and like they're supposed to be based off the Anderson sisters, which is like a real music group. And so in the script they're called the Anderson sisters, but they're normally played by the other three muses who aren't like really doing anything the entire plot, right? But that's what I did, and I had to sing in trio. And it's like weirdly the only piece of music I still remember my vocal parts for, so there's that. But that was like my big thing, is I had to dress up. And then Sunny has like an 80s hair band basically backing him. And they sing everything on the same... The music is not that complicated, let me just say. Not complicated music, but again, could be a really fun show if people did it right.